Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bride of Pendle. Apologies for the undue absence for a few weeks, but we are now back, and we have our players back as well. So, before we go around the table and reintroduce them, a quick recap for them mainly, and for me. So, you've all been invited to a lovely little village called Downham by your friend Tom, a mutual friend, part of your posse down in the University of London area. And since you've arrived, kind of slightly strange things have been going on. Charlotte noticed the Lord of Downham's daughter seemingly surreptitiously smuggle some little bottle to the kitchen staff. There's also a very enthusiastic lad on your table who loves to talk about ghosts and other mythical folklore. Charlotte also read about bog bodies and other grim and nasty things. Nikhil spoke to some very disorientated hikers who didn't apparently know what time it was a bit later on in the evening. There was a very ceremonious presentation of the main course, which did seem very odd. And the meal is carrying on with, well, the vicar possibly being possessed on all accounts. But yeah, we are going to resume right where we left off. Just to remind you what happened, he basically got up from his table, you think maybe to get another drink. He kind of staggered into the middle, and he suddenly started emanating this light from his eyes and mouth, almost floating off the floor a little bit as well, and saying in a raspy voice, "Leave us this place, lest ye shall die one day hence." Before I forget, let's have some sanity rolls, please.
Wow, straight into it there.
Oh yeah, because we didn't roll it at the end of the session.
No, you didn't.
So, of course, it's a fail on my part.
Oh,
Okay.
it's a pass on mine. 14.
Pass for you. Granville?
Oh, it's pass.
Hard pass.
Pass. Okay, so just shall fail.
Hard pass.
Okay. So, Nikhil and Granville, when you look at it, obviously it takes you very much by surprise. Maybe you get speculations of, is this like a prank or something? Like, I mean, it's very clever. Maybe you're even a little bit fascinated by it, but it doesn't chill you in the way that it does with Charlotte. So, Charlotte, your kind of rational, logical mind starts dissecting what happened now that the vicar is kind of on the floor now, maybe starting to come round. How on earth could it have been a trick? He was floating off the ground. You couldn't see anything holding him up. It just happened so quickly in the light, of course. So you are going to lose 1d2 sanity points.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. And I'd also like you to make me a power roll, please.
Power roll. All right. Incoming. That's a hard pass.
Oh, okay. Very, very nice. Okay. So at that moment, there's a few people nearby, Tom and Mary included, who immediately get up and start trying to tend to the vicar to see what's going on. If you want to go up as well, you of course can. Just let me know.
Yeah, I'm going.
Perfect. Okay. Charlotte as well. You're obviously feeling this tension now, and this very kind of wayward feeling, and you're getting this strange, almost mental pull. There's something that you can feel, almost like something that sends a chill down your spine, that makes you want to turn behind you, as if there's something important there, but there's also something in front of you, something surrounding the vicar almost. It's really hard to rationalize in your mind.
Okay. As I'm rushing towards the vicar, that of course needs medical attention because it just turned into a bloody jack-o'-lantern.
Yep, yep.
You said that I'm feeling a presence behind me while
You're
I'm
feeling a presence
rushing towards
behind
the...
you.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're also feeling something else, like something similar, somewhere in front of you as well. Hence this kind of conflict or conflicting pull.
Okay, so I'll just have a look over my shoulder to see, first and foremost, how the room is reacting to what just happened, and then to see if I'm able to pinpoint what's giving me the EGBs while I'm going to tend to the vicar, of course, because that's
Okay.
what I'm going to do.
Lovely. Since you're turning around just for a brief moment, give me a spot hidden roll, please.
Yeah, of course, it's just a glimpse because it wouldn't really make sense otherwise. Spotted then. Regular pass.
That's enough. Okay. Before I tell you what you see, what about the other two? What do you do? Except unmute yourselves.
Well, yeah, I think Nikhil will jump up alongside of Charlotte and try to rush to the vicar and try to help.
Yes.
Okay. The vicar is he is conscious, but he is very kind of slow moving, and he's not really talking either. It's almost like he's coming out of maybe a deep sleep or even a comatose, the way he's behaving, and he'll need maybe something to help, rouse him a bit more.
Offer him sort of hands to help him up.
Okie
Come on,
dokie.
old boy. Gave us quite a turn there.
He does take your hand, and I guess someone else brings a chair to help, and you kind of sit him down. But almost as soon as he sits down, his head kind of rolls back a little bit, and he's just groaning as if completely exhausted. But at least there's no light in his eyes anymore, whatever that was.
I sort of call over to the table that he was sitting at. Could you tell me what was the parson imbibing?
Oh, just the red wine, sir.
Yes. We'll have less of that thing. No more of that. Clearly, he can't hold his liquor.
You hear sort of a slightly hesitant, nervous laughter.
I'm hoping,
yeah,
that's kind of what I'm going for, to try and sort of relieve some of the tension by sort of making it a bit more jovial. If people are more relaxed, I think they're more likely to sort of regain themselves, and we might be more able to get more information out of them, actually. So,
okay. Nikhil, what I'll say is, because you're kind of right next to him as well, you notice that his hand is bleeding, presumably from when the wine glass smashed on the ground and then he tumbled to the floor. If you're looking at your character sheet, I don't believe you have first aid.
I do have first aid. Basic.
Oh, well, you do have basic, yeah. But I mean, you're not like... You can certainly try.
I'll give it a go. 27, which is 3 inside.
Okay. All right. You quick thinking, either you rip a bit of tablecloth off, or maybe even a bit of your shirt, and you start wrapping it around to stop the bleeding and kind of pull it tight. As that is happening, Charlotte, let me put you out of your misery. So you glance around behind you. There are still plenty of people kind of sitting down. Some have maybe stood up a little bit, and they're obviously mostly in shock. There's a little bit of, oh, well, obviously he's had too many kind of thing. But there's something else beyond the people. You see that there's a window at the back of the inn. And just for a second, before it disappears, you could have sworn you saw some sort of animal, maybe about the size of a a vole or something like that, but you recall its face. It looks this kind of strange, grotesque, slightly human-like features, possibly.
I don't wanna. Can we just go home, please? No.
I second that emotion.
That's going to be another
No.
sanity roll, please.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You were the one looking.
Ooh, let me check that double check. Okay, that's barely, but that's a pass.
Okay, that's fine. It was just for a brief moment. You barely had any time to take it in. You think that's what you saw, but
Nah, this
what
was
happened
just
to
a
the vicar?
reflection.
Yeah.
Just a
So
reflection.
you kind of keep it together.
Okay, so of course I'm going to where the vicar is now sitting, since you guys have him up, etc. And I am looking into his eyes and his mouth to see what the fuck generated light coming out of his face holes, etc.
Okay. There's also a couple of people who've brought him water, smelling salts, that kind of thing. So he is starting to come around a bit more now, and he lets you kind of have a look inside his mouth and things. Although he's a little bit confused. You have a good look. There's nothing in there that like any kind of foreign object or any maybe something like a deposit or anything in his mouth that could cause such a thing. It does appear to have just been a light.
Is there any sort of smell or anything on the floor around him? Anything on his clothes?
There is definitely a little bit of a smell, kind of like, I suppose kind of like a smell of gunpowder, as if like a spark or something. But again, there's nothing there, and there are candles about, but you don't think he was sitting near one.
Like a sulfur sort of smell.
Yeah, kind of sulfur, bit of gunpowder maybe.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're not talking about tea. As
No.
in gunpowder. Okay.
No. As in the boom.
Yeah. Since I do have a first aid, I just wanted to assess the Vicar General well-being apart from the exhaustion that it seems to be proving, feeling sorry,
Sure.
etc. If I'm allowed.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Just check his pulse, his pupils dilatation, etc.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm spending 1 luck to make it an outpass.
Okay. Yeah, so you check him over. It's fairly quick to do. Nikhil has done a pretty good job patching his hand up. It might be a bit of a tricky sort of part of his hand to heal, but there's not really that much you can do about it at this point. In terms of anything else, pulse-wise, etc., there's definitely a feeling just for a moment when you say put your fingers to his neck of his pulse being, as you can imagine, pretty racing, but it is starting to calm down. Same with his pupils. They do seem to be following. If you've got like a candle light, they are following them as you would hope. And yeah, he's definitely more lucid now. You think that he has some recollection of what happened. He's not completely, oblivious or anything. But even so, he's obviously quite affected by this as well.
Yeah.
I'm
going to go to the barman.
Yeah, sure. Granville, yes. Is he all right?
Well, yes, he does have a bit of a. He's got a nasty bit of a cut or something on his hand. We've patched it up a little, but a small village like this, you're bound to have a local doctor.
We have a traveling doctor, but we do have a first aid kit of sorts. We do have some ailments that can maybe help.
Do you have anyone who is actually versed in in using those implements?
Not here right now, no, but not far. Not far. We can send someone to fetch him.
Please do so.
Okay. And yeah, he asks one of the kitchen staff. Actually, let's say two of the kitchen staff since it's dark now. Yeah, so they go on off. You presume it's like a few miles, maybe.
I'm acutely aware that if what you were saying about the wound being in a position where kind of wound that might not heal, I'm worried about an infection getting in there. So I figure it needs someone a bit more professional than just us wrapping a bit of bedcloth around it.
Well, while we wait, I mean, there's plenty of spirits if you need something to, keep the wound clean. It might sting a bit though.
Give us the strongest stuff you've got.
No problem, sir. And yeah, he turns around and gets this really quite fancy looking vintage and opens it. At which point, Sir Roderick, he's kind of been around. He's not, been that close by to the attention. You do notice him gasp a little as Charlie opens up this vintage. And he says, "Oh, well, I suppose if we must, but the vicar, it was just a joke, wasn't it? Yes, a joke." And he almost kind of hits him a bit too hard on the back. And the vicar gives him a nervous smile.
Look on the bright side. You're helping one of God's chosen. Now, if there's anything that's going to get you into heaven, it's giving the vicar a drink. Now,
the vicar actually does a little laugh at that. But you can give me a psychology roll, if you like, Granville.
Moving on.
Do you want to spend luck or push?
In order for me to get it down to where I need it to get to, I'd have to spend about 60 luck.
Spend your 1 point, Ronnie.
61 might do it. 61 ain't gonna happen. No, I rolled
very well. Very well. Yeah, Tom's kind of keeping an eye on him, and you can't help but notice actually, as he's kind of putting his hands on the vicar just to kind of keep him in the present moment and things, and just kind of keep him comforted. You see he's wearing his ring again that he always seems to wear. You remember it back in the days of university. It's this quite strange looking ring, very ornate, not particularly fashionable for a man, in this day and age. But yeah, it's kind of silver. It's got this very nice set of knots on it, and you notice that as Tom is there with the vicar, the vicar's definitely becoming a lot calmer now. Like Tom obviously has some kind of convincing in him.
I pour a small snifter of whatever I've just been given for the vicar to imbibe. I'll take a second small snifter and pour it over the wound. Yes, that's going to be absolutely lethal to him in terms of pain, but it should help clean out the wound a bit.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.
Just keep pressure on it.
So we've seen this ring before, have we?
Yeah. So you kind of forgotten about it, but yeah, you remember. It's a thing that Tom just always wears. He always has done. It's just a very distinct ring.
Right, vicar. You've given us a bit of a start. We've sent for the local doctor. So, he can do a proper spectacle. Well, itch your hand. That can't really do much. That you might get an infection in there. I'd rather he did a proper stitch up and gave you a proper dressing on the wound.
Yes, I suppose you're right. At which point, actually, Mary interjects and says, "Well, perhaps if the doctor ends up being, indisposed, it is late at night now. I could always help. I know some herbalism. It's not quite the same, I realise, and I would need ingredients, but I can create a balm to help soothe the pain."
There's often a lot in these in tradition that can aid people. Just,
Yes.
everything's
Vicar,
never modern medicine.
Vicar, do you hold any objection to this lady?
You can give me another psychology roll if you like. In fact, yeah, all of you can give me psychology rolls at this point.
Psychology roll coming right up. Regular pass.
And moving on even quicker.
That's a pass by 1.
Okay. So, the two of you who pass, what I'll say is that all of you notice a slightly unexpected reaction for a vicar. You kind of maybe assumed that a vicar would go, "Oh gosh, no, it's these sort of pagan type herbalism there," but actually he seems perfectly accepting of it. But to you, Nikhil and Charlotte, you notice his eyes light up a little bit, and not in the bad way, in a good way, as if it genuinely interests him as well. The whole kind of concept of say herbalism and alternative medicine, as it's called now.
Well, if you're happy with that, we will leave you in capable hands.
Thank you.
Yeah, as long as I'm also given maybe some thread and a needle, I can patch up the wound momentarily until you're able to see a doctor. Then, of course, the balm will ease the pain, etc. But at least nothing will get into it.
Oh, I'm not used to. Well, I suppose I am used to all this attention, but not like this. Excuse me. Maybe you two decide between you what you want to do, but I wouldn't mind just nipping back to the church for a moment and praying over this, if that is all right with you. I still feel a little bit in shock.
Are you sure you're well enough for that? That was quite an experience.
Yeah.
It's only across the road.
You should stay here in the joy and comfort of good company, at least until the doctor's seen you well.
Oh, it's okay. Anyway, as some people have kind of said, I've had enough to drink anyway, and I don't want any more before the big day. So I won't be long, and I'll retire, or at least I'll see Miss Patterson and Miss Osagawa beforehand, if you two ladies are willing to stay up a little longer. But don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
I'm afraid
See you later, then.
we do worry about you. Obviously, you're vital to the services that are going to happen tomorrow.
Exactly. And if I'm in sound of mind, then a scratch on the hand I can get through tomorrow, even if it's painful.
Can I accompany you back to your vicarage? I would quite happily stop at the chapel on the way.
We better get our letters.
Oh, well, yes, very well, if you wish to accompany me.
Just to make sure you don't have another funny turn out in the street by yourself.
I suppose that's a good point, but it is only a hop, skip, and a jump. But yes, feel free to accompany me if you wish. Would the other two of you like to join them?
Well, actually, I'm going to turn to Charlotte.
Okay.
Listen, I'm going to try and do my best to keep the spirits up of the the dinner party here. I wonder if this might be an opportune moment to have a proper word with that young boy. He may have
Yeah.
heard, he may be have heard something about this sort of strange thing happening before with all these thoughts and so on.
Mhm.
I'll try
I
and
w-
keep the punters happy.
Yeah, I wanted to talk with his uncle too, to see
Yeah, you had
how
a
he
pact
managed.
involved.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I can do a little bit of both.
Well, you
Technically,
see,
you've got all night with the uncle.
the thing is, I'm, you know, it's more the case for me that I'm not going to step on a police officer's toes. I'm not going to do any investigating. That's why you have the police here. I will aid and assist, but you're the lead investigator.
You're very kind, but I'm not a police officer. Maybe I'll be out of a job in the next few months, so every
Uh,
help is
right
well
now,
accepted. Also
right,
because I'm out of my jurisdiction. you could
yes,
say.
but right now you are a WPC on site.
Yes, but then again, we're all in the same boat. And since I'm heavily outnumbered, any help might prove useful.
I will,
So,
I will, of course, provide you any aid and assistance you require. But you know, I'm not a serving. I've never done any training in investigative techniques or policing or anything like that.
You do have experience in this area.
You know, ask me to cook up a good chicken and I'm your man. But you know, trying to find a stool pigeon, that's a whole different thing.
If I was you, I'd throw around the suggestion of the Met as a bit of a threat to back yourself up.
Yeah, you've just come up from Scotland Yard.
don't think so, but then again,
They don't know.
By the
might as well be, but I don't think so.
By the time they figure it out, we'll be long gone anyway.
We'll see.
They're not going to know a damn thing that you're not from Scotland Yard itself until way, way, way in tomorrow, if they bother to check at all.
Yeah, we'll see if this facade holds up. If it doesn't,
yes, you can blame me.
All right. So, yes, I'll be talking with Thomas first and his uncle later.
Okay. And did you want to talk to Alex as well? The young lad?
Yep.
Yeah, of course. I'd rather not have these conversations alone. I mean, this is me, player, speaking.
Uh-huh.
Just because I want, of course, witnesses. And maybe something slips my mind and I don't want to fuck everything up because I forgot to ask something. So, yeah, of course, Nikhil is going to walk the vicar to the vicarage / church / whatever. But
So
as long as Granville is at a heaves drops away,
yeah,
I am merrier this way.
Actually,
okay, no worries.
Actually, before you get heavily into all your questionings, I'm going to take advantage of the situation to proceed to the kitchen.
Ah, okay. And what do you plan to do in said kitchen?
Well, under the sort of pressure of, you know, after all this, you know, this incident, perhaps another course or a dessert course would be a good thing. You know, keep the conversation about what ingredients exactly are you using in these. I'm a bit of a culinary man myself, and just keep on. the actual sort of instigator of it all is I want to have a bloody good look round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No worries.
Under the basis of if whatever happened to the vicar was due to something that he imbibed that came from the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure.
you know,
Okay.
Just remember that I told you about the little bottle that was
Yeah.
smuggled.
Yeah.
to cook.
Yeah. You told them
Yep.
about little bottle.
which is another
Well-
thing I'm going to look for.
Join the queue. Let's go to Nikhil.
Yep.
First.
Okay.
So you do indeed kind of lead the vicar out, as you notice Charlotte kind of go a little bit into police mode and maybe start talking with people, and you know why she wants to talk to them, not just mingle. You leave the warmth of the inn behind, but as the vicar said, it is literally just across the road and up the hill a little bit to the church. The church does look a little bit eerie, given it's nighttime and there's not much light around, but there is some light from houses nearby. He opens the gate up, and there's basically a path that goes through. There's the main sort of set of graves on the left, but you think there may be some sort of larger ones around the back, like a mausoleum or two. Maybe not a mausoleum, but something a bit grander. He
Okay.
gets out a key in order to get back in the church. Would you wish to come in and pray as well? Or?
Oh yes, I will pray. I'll sit maybe quietly in a pew somewhere and I'll just observe. I'm just obviously here to help you home. Not a religion. I could look around the church actually. It'd be quite interesting.
Oh yes, please do, please do.
On the way back, I wanted to keep any short chat fairly light. Just talk about the environment and where we are and how well the party was going, that sort of thing.
Uh-huh. Okay. So he goes up near the front, not like right on the front pew, but near to the front, and he pulls out a little kind of cushion thing and kneels down and begins praying. Looking around the church, obviously there's no one else here, and again it is quite dark, but he does light a few candles. It looks very, very new, this interior. You couldn't really see much of the exterior, again, given that it was dark, but you do think that it's quite old generally, but there's obviously been some work that's been done on this church. The chairs are brand new, for example. There's a new lick of paint in places, lovely carpet as well. And interestingly, as you have a look, your eye is caught on the stained glass windows. They're quite interesting. You've been in a few churches before, and quite often they're of particular scenes of the Bible, maybe a saint or two. This one does appear to be a saint. But interestingly, he's surrounded by sort of two people on each side, and he is cuffed. However, the cuffs have been broken, kind of all very symbolic and stuff. And you see a plaque underneath that specific window that says St. Lawrence, the patron saint of prisoners. You're muted.
Patron saint of
prisoners.
Oh, that's quite an interesting stained glass there. I've never heard of any sort of patron saint of prisoners. Is that biblical?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, there is only one saint for each, item, activity, what have you. But yes, this is St. Lawrence's church. Very, very old. Possibly over 1,000 years, in fact. We're not quite sure how far back it goes, but this has been renovated about 10 years ago. So a lot of it's been rebuilt, but the steeple itself is the oldest part. You're the You're the photographer, aren't you? I'm sure there'll
I
be some
am,
wonderful
yes.
pictures to take tomorrow.
I'll be very interested to come back actually, and maybe take a picture of the window with this morning light coming through it. It should be very. If we can catch some beams coming down across the floor for the window, it'd be very
Oh, yes, that would be
atmospheric.
wonderful. Really quite
Publicise your
angelic.
church.
Yes, yes. There's also a little chapel at the back, which you think again might be an older part of the church, and again, there's sort of other sort of parts in there, like I can't remember what they're called now. A fresco and things like that. Again, depicted to Saint Lawrence. As you're there, and you said you were kind of talking about like the surroundings and things like that, and getting a bit more, maybe getting to know him a little bit better. You can give me a charm roll if you like.
That is a near disastrous fail, not cool. That's a
Okay.
90.
Okay, not a fumble then. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a nice chap, and he is enjoying the conversation. But also, he knows that you're not from round here, and yeah, you're using Ronnie's dice. And it gets to a point you can kind of feel the conversation's beginning to burn out a little bit, and it is starting to get really quite late. And you think he's kind of, maybe his body language is saying, maybe we should kind of go soon, kind of thing, you know. And he actually says, well, it's been lovely to talk to you, but if you don't mind, I'm feeling quite tired after, you know, the ordeal. I just need to sort out a few bits and bobs, and then I'll lock up. But feel free to go on ahead. You don't need to wait for me or anything.
Well, I said I'd see you back to your lodgings. I mean, I wouldn't feel right about just leaving you.
I know, but look, I'm fine. You've
turn
seen.
your hand on this collar.
Don't worry, Mr. Pandya. It's all fine. I'll be fine.
Okay, then I will. If you're sure, I will sort of like I'll head back to the festivities. But I will leave him, but I won't go that far. I'll leave the church. I'll leave the church yard, but I will stay within distance where I can see the door of the church.
Okay, no worries.
Just to keep an eye out, 5-10 minutes or so.
Certainly. Okay. So in terms of, are you thinking maybe kind of hiding in the shadows sort of thing? There are a few little nooks in the perimeter of the church you could go in.
In a churchyard, or in the church, I'll be on a stone, be on a yew tree or something.
Okay. There aren't really any trees on this side of the church. There are a couple kind of in the corner around the back. It's pretty dark though around there, so you could easily just wander around there and be out of sight, and he would be none the wiser.
Yeah, that sort of thing. It's just to hide away in the shadows so I can see what's happening.
Okay. So you do that, and you can hear a little bit of movement inside. You think maybe he's, I don't know, doing a bit of tidying or something. But you wait, and you wait. You're kind of anticipating the front doors opening and him coming out, but it's not. And it's been maybe 10-15 minutes at this point. And then just when you think that you might want to go back in and check he's all right, you hear the sound of a lot of noise coming from inside, but actually from above you. There's a lot of clattering, as if maybe things are falling off, like items are falling off, like furniture. And you also hear his voice. He sounds really quite erratic, like frantic over something.
Is he shouting or screaming or?
It is kind of shouting. Maybe he's, you think, trying to keep as quiet as possible, but also he's not doing very well.
Okay, yeah, we're going to sort of rush back in.
Okay. All right. As you do that, let's go back to Charlotte. So who do you wish to interrogate? Go and speak to first.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe it is better to talk with the uncle first.
Mm-hmm.
So as to get a general insight of the other guests that I'm willing to talk to before interrogating the soon to be dead groom.
What makes you say that?
The fact that everything is turning into shit in quite a glorious manner. So I'm
I'm enjoying your optimism.
yes. So yeah, I'm talking with the uncle first because I want to get an insight from him about Thomas' behavior in general. The hosts as well, and then Alex also, because I'm willing to talk with him first, also later, maybe. I don't know. It really depends on the intel I'm able to gather from the uncle and Thomas first.
Okay. So I mean, with your amazing roles previous session, when speaking to him, he's more than happy to talk to you. He's looking a bit flustered, and he's been helping out, kind of just calm everyone down. And he mentions that there is some more food on the way, which he says hopefully that will pacify people further. Food always does that.
Now you tell me.
Did you want to maybe go out for another smoke?
Why not? I mean,
Is there
just get a little bit
beer out
of
there?
fresh air.
Yes. Everyone calls it that, doesn't it? Don't they?
Yeah. I tried and grab a couple more cups of coffee from the bar before going out.
Sure.
And then I turned directly to him and saying, "Did you see that as well?"
Yes, I think everyone did.
Yeah, I don't know how they are rationalizing things, but I wanted to make sure we are on the same page. That we saw the
Well,
vicar going jack-o'-lantern and screaming stuff in an unworldly voice.
Jekyll. Oh, you mean the American? Well, pumpkin, isn't it?
Oh yeah, fuck. Sorry.
I didn't see that, but no, he definitely did, and it didn't haunt me in the same way as that young woman did the other day, but by gum, it's something I was not expecting to see. Something
Yeah.
else of that nature.
I was really taken aback from everything that just happened, and as I'm talking to him, I'm having a glance around the outside where we are facing to see if I see that strange creature that I saw outside of the window earlier.
Okay.
And,
all right.
sorry.
I was just going to say that you have little glances. You don't see whatever it was, but you do see Sir Roderick come out at one point, and he kind of wanders a bit up the road. You think he was maybe a little taken aback by the fact that you two were out here. He maybe wasn't expecting that. So he sort of loiters around a little bit. And if you watch him, he actually starts going round the back of the inn a little bit towards, there's some, like, you think maybe storerooms or something like that, outhouses. But then you hear the sound of a match. and you think maybe he just went to light up himself or something, but strangely out of the way. And then eventually he comes back round, and he does have his pipe. He says, taking in the air, I suppose. Yes.
Mhm. I was just thinking, what was the point in hiding, given we are here sharing the same activity? If I'm not
Maybe
too
it's like,
blunt in asking.
oh, well, you can make me a psychology roll as well.
Incoming psychology. Ooh, that's an extreme.
Okay. As you say that to him, it immediately dawns on you that he wasn't hiding. He was looking for something. And do you think you know what he was looking for? Maybe he saw that creature as well.
Hmm. All right.
Oh well, I'm trying to. I've been told to cut down a little bit on the stuff. I didn't want my daughter to see, but I'm sure she'd find out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the smell is the most difficult part to hide, isn't it? It
Yes,
sticks to
yes.
clothing and jackets and shirts. It's abhorrent, but then again, it's a coping mechanism for stress, anxiety, maybe the nervousness of this big event coming up, isn't it?
Oh well, yes, of course. I'm sure the groom is quite nervous. I would be too if I was in his position. I was as well just before my wedding day. Although it seems like a very long time ago now.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess. How are you finding the evening beside the obvious um, out of schedule part? Out of schedule part.
I presume you mean the vicar
Yeah,
doing
of
whatever
course. I
it
mean the
was.
vicar. Yes.
Yes. Most untoward. I may have a word with him tomorrow. But well, it's been mostly good, of course. Why wouldn't it? The food has been spectacular. The the pig. It was given to us especially for the occasion. There's supposed to be more of it tomorrow.
Hmm.
Now you'll get a proper taste of rustic food, not none of this cosmopolitan rubbish from London, as I've heard nowadays.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I was taken aback by the presentation of the pig itself. And again, pardon me if I'm sounding blunt in asking, but was the soon-to-be wife aware of this?
How would I know? I presume she was.
Didn't look like it. Then
Well,
again, if this was my marriage, and I was given as the night before dinner, this is me, an Italian-speaking player, not knowing if it is a specific name or not. But if I was given something I did not agree upon, that would upset me a little bit. But then again, I'm not the bride, and maybe I'm too blunt in asking.
Okay, you can give me a persuade roll, but you're going to need a very good roll if you want him to come round. Else he's
Oh,
going to be pretty
fuck.
insulted with you.
Let's see how much luck do I have to spend. As I see him, of course, growing more stern with my question, I'll try to rephrase it a little bit in order to push the roll, because
Oh,
this
okay.
sucked us very much. And I
Okay,
need to roll it once more.
as in kind of like fill the hole that you dug for yourself sort of thing?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is not that deep for when I'm pushed in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Make your roll.
I'm assuming it's not going to slap me in the face. Yeah, fuck me, even worse than before.
Okay. He.
Oh, let me
he-
check.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, no. I wanted to check if it was a fumble. It's not a fumble.
It doesn't matter. It's a failed push roll.
Yeah. But then again, if it was a failed, and
Okay.
let's go on.
He kind of stands up like this and looks right down on you
Yeah, of course.
and says, "Well, of course a woman would say such a thing to my face, wouldn't they? And you not only are a woman, but you're not from anywhere near here. You have no idea what happens here or what people like and what they don't like, and neither is the bride.
Hmm. Yeah, I assume.
She'll just have to get used to things, won't she?" And he marches back inside, not waiting for you to finish.
I look back at the uncle, of course, a little mortified that my dice had betrayed me. I'm trying to lighten up the mood, saying, "Yeah, I really want to know what kind of women he knows. They seem they have more brains than he does."
You didn't have to strike a nerve with him like that. He's really doing a lot for Tom, you know. And yes, I agree. I agree that the pig was kind of last minute, and to tell you the truth, it wasn't what Tom and Mary wanted. And yes, the way it kind of came out, I wasn't expecting that either. But apparently, it's the best pork you can get in possibly the whole of Lancashire. It's
Yeah,
the
but then
farmers who
again,
provided it. It's they're doing such a kind gesture. You've got to maybe. I know that you're a curious young woman, and that's wonderful, and you're very intuitive, but you've maybe just got to switch off a little bit.
I
know.
bring in my heartfelt apologies. But then again, okay, it is what it is. I mean, it
But
could be the best meat that you could have in the whole fucking continent. But then again, it's the principle
yes, I
on both
know, but
sides. But then again, I won't
it's
take the matter further.
this isn't like London. This is a very tightly knit community.
Mhm.
As somebody like Sir Roderick in such a prominent position, sometimes he has to make compromises for his own villagers. You know, they all live out of his properties. Even it's very tightly knit. So if you know if people are willing to provide things, then he's more than likely to oblige, as he's done.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
in terms of what you were saying about women, well, actually, he's not really had anyone in his life apart from his daughter of that nature for a long time now. His wife passed away. I think what was it, about 7 years ago now, and they never had a son either.
Oh, that would have made him bitter, didn't it? Ah,
Well,
how did his
yes, possibly,
how did
but
his wife pass away?
oh, I think it was
It doesn't.
I think it was pneumonia or some other similar
Ah,
illness. I don't quite know the details, and they maybe keep it a little bit under wraps,
yeah,
being
of
who he
course.
is. And I don't want to pry. But he has Amelia, and Amelia looks after him. And I must say, even though he never had a son, you know, introducing him to Tom was possibly one of the best things I ever did. They get on really well, and he's very proud of Tom, not only for getting married, but also being an upcoming politician. and he's keen to almost take him under his wing a little bit more. And I'm sorry for his behavior, though. I know it's not right to speak to you.
Yeah, I
like that.
mean, doesn't really matter. It wasn't my place to like stab him with the question as I did. But speaking of people present to this soon to be celebrated ceremony, what can you tell me about Alex?
Oh, the young lad.
Hmm.
I mean, I've not met him until tonight, but he seems like he seems like an interesting kettle of fish, doesn't he? He's obviously into his local tales and myths and legends and things. And
Yeah, it's a
I mean,
different kind of
that's
cat. It's a
well,
different breed of cat.
yes.
But then again, given that it is tightly knit community, I assume that maybe there were some. I mean,
Well,
his
he
parents
isn't from
looked so
Downham.
harsh on him. So I don't know, but then again, it was me just prying and asking things that maybe I'm not supposed to ask.
Well, I mean, he is from Clitheroe, so at least he's not under the mercy of this village, shall we say? And he gives you a little elbow, like a nudge. But I mean, if you want to put him in my direction, I'm more than happy to talk to him about, well, very old things. Maybe not so much ghosts. That's not really my thing. And don't obviously mention the one I did see. But because I'm into ancient history, Anglo-Saxon things, I'm sure he'd be very interested.
But then
I can talk to him
again,
for hours about it if you want.
just keep it historical rather than folklorish.
Oh yes, of course. But like I said, that's more my field. There's of
Yeah,
course
yeah,
plenty of folklore around here, but I don't know that much about it apart
yeah.
from general things.
I was just advising you in case his
Oh,
parents will
mm,
be
yes,
eavesdropping.
yes. I
So
understand. I understand.
keep it notionable, so that they have the impression he is learning something rather than fueling his
I
addiction in
understand what you're
folklore.
saying, Miss
Okay.
Patterson. I understand.
Well,
Okay.
we should get back in, I guess.
Meanwhile, in the kitchen, or at least very close to the kitchen, you can definitely smell a wafting of cheeses coming from inside. It's quite kind of busy at the moment in there. They're scrambling a little bit, you think, to get things ready quicker
Eggs
because
as
of what's
well.
happened.
Good.
But yeah, there's a few cheeses that are looking to get brought out. There's some dessert wines that they're also getting out of like a small pantry area. You can see there's not things like grapes up here, but there's plenty of like apples and
Okay.
pears and things to go with it. Some nice, you think, homemade chutney and jams and so on.
Ew, what absolutely wonderful in here. My God, the beating heart of it all. Ugh.
Oh, well, yes, sir. And you see this sort of young woman kind of turn her head towards you. Yes, sir. We figured to maybe distract everyone with some food.
Funnily enough, the very reason I was going to come in here and ask you.
Oh, right.
Yes, it's just between you and me. I mean, I think everyone's had just a little bit too much wine, and the vicar having a bit of a turn there has set them aside. So this is looking absolutely splendid dessert.
Well,
Is that a
thank you, sir.
fondue you're doing?
A fond what, sir?
A fondue. It's a French dish. It means melted cheese.
Oh, right. No, we don't do any of that, sir. Not really. Not a fondue. But hopefully the cheeses are to your liking.
Oh,
Proper
I
creamy.
do like it. May I taste?
Oh well, yes, very well. And she gets a cheese knife for you and hands it to you. beautiful cheese, very creamy, smooth, a little bit of nutty in there, but then there's also some more dimensions towards the back end.
Who needs a good wine when you can have a good cheese tasting? That's what I say.
Oh, I hear the two go very well together, sir.
Listen, there was something I was going to ask you. What was it? Oh, yes. Listen, earlier when you did that big thing, I mean, I was doing some restaurant work down in London, see, and sometimes we would make a big deal of certain dishes. But I have to say that whole thing with the pig, when you were bringing it in and taking it all round the tables before you took it up to the top table for the bride and groom, I've never seen it. Is that a local custom or is that quite new?
Okay, you can give me either a charm roll or an appearance roll, and you'll get a slightly different answer depending on which one you roll.
Appearance.
Mm.
I'm trying to find appearance, and oh yeah, it's up near the top, isn't it? I'm going to go with appearance, mostly because I've got a better chance of not succeeding with it. You know what? Fuck it. I'm spending 7 points to make that a success.
Yes, we did it, guys. We did it. Okay. So, she was maybe a little kind of not cold, but she maybe thought to start with that you were overstaying your welcome. But then when you go into this kind of sweeping of, oh yes, I'm from London, and oh yes, I do all this prestigious restaurant thing, she goes kind of a bit hot under the collar, and her cheeks are getting very flushed.
Well, of course it is. It's me.
Well, yes. Oh well, no, not really, sir. But if you don't mind me saying, I thought it was a little bit odd myself.
Who came up with the idea?
Oh, yes, instructions we were given.
Don't have to have them to hand, do you? They're all written down.
No.
or-
We were told it was part of what the bride and groom wanted.
Who told you?
Well, the Knipe brothers, or the Knipes, they brought us the pig, and they said to make a big spectacle, and then Miss Elladale was the one who suggested doing that, and
Oh,
I mean, she's doing a lot of the arrangements, and if that's what they want, then that's what they want. But I did find it a little odd myself, sir.
just memory. Was it
Hmm.
Ella that Charlotte had seen taking in the
Amelia,
Amelia?
or Miss Elladale, as she's called. But yes, it is that person.
Right. Oh, I'll tell you what it is. I did detect. I said this to the waiter earlier, and I was sort of fobbed off. I detected a certain texture or taste that I hadn't really gone for, and then someone reminded me that Miss Elladale handed the chef something. And I thought maybe that was a particular herb or something that was being used in the dish. I'm always looking to expand my palate, you see. So if I knew what the herb was, because I did like it.
Okay. Give me a persuade roll.
I'd rather use charm.
You can do charm if you prefer.
Mostly because I'm far more charming than persuasive. I rolled exactly my charm score. Thank fuck.
Okay. So you're obviously buttering her up a bit. Dare I use the pun? As soon as you mention
There.
that Miss Elladale handed something over to the kitchen staff, she hastily puts her hands into this large pocket at the front of her, like pinny kind of thing, almost a little tense, and then says, "Oh, no, it's not like that, sir. It really isn't. No, it's for it's for Mister Byrne, the uncle. You know how have you not seen? He's a bit flustered with everything, and Miss Elladale just gave me some laudanum, just to relax him a little bit.
Oh,
That's all it is. It's nothing untoward or anything. I promise you, sir. But please don't tell Mr. Weybridge. It's
well, I think we can come to an arrangement.
oh,
Well, no, oh no, don't worry. I'm not someone who uses his influence in that way. No, it's just I have a very good friend here from Scotland Yard.
oh, well, sir, please. Like I said, it was just to relax him.
Well,
Look here.
it's
Look,
just-
here's the bottle, and she gets the bottle out of her pocket, unsurprisingly, and she holds it up to you, and it is a bottle of laudanum, or rather, the
Right.
contents have gone, but it is a bottle that says laudanum on it.
I'll tell you what. I take the bottle and I just pocket it. Yeah, little secret.
Oh, okay,
However,
sir.
my police friend is asking sort of general questions just to get a obviously we're a little concerned as to what happened to the vicar, so she may come in here. Obviously, I can assume that you're going to give her your complete cooperation.
Yes, of course, sir, of course.
Don't worry. I'll ensure her that that the thing that she saw, the thing that was talked about handing over to the chef, wasn't anything interesting. Don't worry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. If
No.
you don't mind, we need to get the rest of this food out, or else.
Oh,
people start
absolutely,
wandering.
absolutely. Oh, dessert wine. Yes, that's wonderful. Oh, lovely.
Yes, please take 2 bottles. Here, sir.
You are most generous. And I walk out, and I'm like, mental thing. I'm going back in there later when it's slightly less busy. But
Okay.
I'll walk out with the 2 bottles, and I'll be like, well, I'm getting merry tonight. I said, get back to the table, and specifically get back to Charlotte.
Okay. And on that note, and also while Nikhil is still about to go in and see what on earth's going on, now's a good time to take a short break, I think.
Oh yeah. See you in 5.
Alrighty.
Good stuff.
just while we're getting back,
Mm.
I'm going to show off these.
Ooh.
I got these lovely dice with little diamonds. They're almost kind of heart-shaped sort of diamonds. I got these from Fiona for Valentine's last week.
Oh, how very cute.
I know. And I got this as well, which is a little... It's a little card. It's not so much a game as it's a card full of questions that can be used as conversation starters. It's lovely.
Okay.
And for somebody like me who's actually terrible at starting conversations, in general, talk about gaming quite happily, but, sort of general conversation, I'm terrible at. So I actually like those. So I thought I'd show them off because I think they're lovely. And I got them from my girlfriend. So thank you very much.
What is that you're drinking, Giorgio?
Water in a blue glass.
Oh, it's kind of hard to see the blue tinge on the glass, but the water looks so blue. It's like, what the hell is that?
It's just plain water, I'm afraid.
It's Romulan ale.
It's what?
It's Romulan ale.
I don't know what that is.
Right, Star Trek. There are
Trek,
Romulans.
I have never seen Star Trek except for Wrath of Khan.
Right.
Never seen Star Trek.
Star Trek.
No, I haven't.
Star Trek, Wrath of Khan. Right, we can still get away with this. You go back and watch Wrath of Khan. Romulan ale is what McCoy and Kirk are drinking at the start to celebrate his birthday.
Okay.
Some Romulan ale, which is this blue, high alcohol.
Very high alcohol.
I'll take your words for it.
Not such an ale, more of a spirit, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Romulan ale just has a ring to it. As opposed to, what are you drinking? Romulan whiskey.
I think in the sort of Shatner eras, I think it was a lot cloudier. It became clearer in the more modern ones.
As in they started using
Clear
food
blue.
colouring over washing up liquid.
Yeah, clear blue rather than, yeah.
Well then, let's go back to Phil, or rather to Nikhil. So, you do indeed go back into the church, and you do indeed hear noise from above. You notice near-ish to the small chapel there is a stairwell, sort of spiral that goes up to a room at the top of the steeple. And do you think that's where the noise is coming from?
Okay, I'll move to the bottom of the stair then, over to the door, if there's a stair inside, obviously. And I'll look up and I'll just, hello? Just sort of, not loud, just sort of tentatively.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, you lean round a little bit, so you can see the door. It is a little bit ajar, and as you say that, the noise briefly stops. Yes, hello? Is someone there?
Okay? Do you need any help? Are you okay?
And you actually hear him get up and kind of come out, and he says, "No, it's fine, thank you. I'm all good. Just doing a bit of tidying. I realized there was a mess in here, and I can't just leave it. So,
You should get some rest.
yes, I know, but also there's something in here I need, and I can't find it. I won't be a minute."
Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow then.
Okay. He goes, "Okay, good night then." And he
Good
almost
night.
kind of slams the door.
Okay, and I'll make footsteps like I'm walking up.
Yep.
Walking away without going anywhere.
Okie dokie. The clattering resumes. Make me a listen roll. See if you can gauge a bit more of exactly what's happening in there.
A listen roll. Oh, it's not fantastic. No, I can't. I'm gonna spend 18 on that.
18. Okay.
Yep.
To make it what, a regular pass?
Yes, regular pass.
Yep. Okay. I mean, you definitely get that he's looking for something. He was telling the truth with that. You can hear the
Okay.
sound of books coming out of a bookshelf, something opening like a chest or like maybe a cupboard or something. You hear like a creaking sound. You also hear him at one point. He's like under a table because you can hear that his voice has changed a bit and he's closer to the floor. But you do hear him muttering to himself, where is it? It's always here. Oh, no one else could have taken it. Sir Roderick? Well, he's the only one with the key. But why would he take it? Why wouldn't he just ask? I don't understand.
Okay. I will leave him and I'll make my way back to the not reception, but the what was it?
The inn.
Yeah, I'll make my way back.
The Georgian Dragon.
And I'll report back to our group on what's happening.
Okay.
He's lost something. He's looking for something. He's unsure. It seems very precious to him.
Okay, yeah. So you head back to the inn, and the scene seems to be a bit calmer as you go inside. Although you almost bump into Miss Elladale as you actually see that she's taking her leave. Excuse me. Good
sorry.
night.
Please excuse me, Miss Everdale. You're leaving early. I'm sorry to have missed you.
That's quite all right. I could see that you were attending to our dear vicar, but I'm afraid I have plenty to do tomorrow morning, and if you don't mind, I need to get my beauty sleep.
I'm sure you need very little of that. But I will see you tomorrow, and hopefully I can. You'll allow me to take a photograph of you. A portrait, maybe?
You are too kind, young sir. You certainly can. Take as many as you like.
Thank you very much, and have a good night.
And you too, young sir. And she heads on up the road towards Elladale Manor.
I'll watch her for a bit. Is she going past the church?
Actually, yes. To start with, you actually see that she's going into the churchyard, and you suddenly think, whoa, what's going on here? But then you notice that she's actually going to the end of the path, so past the front door, and there's some sort of like wooden outside doorway, gate kind of thing. She unlocks it, and you think it might be another entrance into the manor itself. Like beyond there is some gardens.
Oh,
and
okay, like a
that.
private entrance into the.
Yeah, private entrance. Having said that, you do notice her stop briefly, as she'd obviously heard something as well, above her, but she doesn't stay for long, and she takes her leave.
Okay, after that, then I'll go back in.
As in, back into the inn?
Back into the inn, yeah.
Yeah, okay. At which point, Charlotte, you've just come in with Horace, and obviously Granville, you've gleaned a little bit of information, as well as some dessert wines, of course, so you're brandishing those.
Let's get them in order of importance. I gleaned 2 bottles of house dessert wine and some information.
Priorities.
Absolutely. What's the point in taking on the mythos if you're not hammered?
Quote of the evening.
Nice.
Okay.
What do you do?
Well, I'll relate to the other two what about the priest and what I've seen, what I heard, And he's obviously looking for something. Something's missed. Something obviously precious to him. And then Miss Emmerdale was. I thought she was going to the church, but luckily she walked past back to the manor.
Well, the very nice lady in the kitchen there did say that it was the Knipes brothers who brought in the pig, and it was Miss Ellendale who suggested that great big bloomin' roast procession that we had. Seems it isn't a local custom at all. It was all Miss Ellendale sort of geeing them up. By the way, the thing that you saw her hand over to the kitchen turned out to be this, and I hold up the bottle of laudanum. Seems Miss Ellendale was keen to use it as a way of calming the uncle down because he's
Who's standing right there?
Hi, how you doing?
You may retract that if you wish.
What, the hi, how you doing? Yeah, I'll retract
the
the
bit
laudanum
before.
bit. I'll retract the laudanum bit. Yes, I was the thing you saw wasn't relevant to
Well, what I'll say to kind of help you out is that Horace is keen anyway to kind of get back to Tom and Mary and things, so he stays for a couple of minutes. But then, if you want to then disclose about the laudanum after that, you
Yeah.
can absolutely fine. Yeah.
Laudanum, that's opium and alcohol, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite it's
Potent.
it can be used as a pain medication in small doses, but in larger doses it's extremely addictive and habit forming.
The three of you can give me an intelligence roll. Charlotte, you can get a bonus die.
Yay!
What is that?
Made it by 1.
Yeah, it's a regular pass.
Failed by 23.
It is my hope to get my dice to roll lower than 50 tonight.
I'm not spending
That's
23.
That's very specific. No. Okay. So Granville and Charlotte, between you, the two of you think two things. As you hand over the laudanum bottle to Charlotte. The first thing is that, well, it's empty, so the whole thing's been used. Therefore, if it's, say, given to a singular person like Horace, then you would be able to see the effects of it very, very quickly. And such effects are not showing at all. Horace he's maybe a little calmer than he was, but he's still, his usual frantic self and drinking coffee. He definitely does not look like...
Assuming it was full to start with.
Well, yes, that's very true. Yeah. But he's not showing any sorts of symptoms like he's just imbibed, shall we say, or had laudanum.
Well,
is it possible he has a certain resistance to it if he's used to it?
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, that really depends on how big the bottle is, because you might be already addicted to the substance, but if you get large amounts all in one sit, I do believe that.
This
Yeah,
big,
a vial of that. If he's someone who takes laudanum to any degree, a vial of that in a cooked meal will have very little effect.
He was a big bloke, wasn't he?
I mean, he's not big. He's sort
Okay.
of fairly average
obviously-
size.
Probably
Plus-
master of a effect.
Plus, it also depends on how much he's had of whatever meal the laudanum was placed in. If he's only had a few forkfuls, he's probably not had the full effect of whatever's of the laudanum.
What I was going to ask is that we're not able to see like effects or symptoms on Ores, but what about anyone else present?
Okay. You scan around. Feel free to give me. You can either give me a psychology roll or a spot hidden roll. Any of you?
Ooh,
I'm
let me
going
see.
with I'm going with psychology.
I'm
But I
I'm
going,
got
going with spot hit.
slight more.
I'm going with spot hidden.
Okay.
No, I fell miserably.
Moving on.
Passed by 2. Normal success.
Oh, okay. What I'll say is that those of you who failed, you don't quite notice because maybe you're looking elsewhere at the time. But Nikhil, you just managed to catch. At one point, you see that the most of the top table who are still there have returned to their table. They're eating cheese and things. You notice just for a brief second that Tom bends over a little bit, clutching his heart like this, almost like he's maybe had almost like a little palpitation or something like that, or heartburn kind of thing. Mary reacts straight away, but he seems to be all right. It's just kind of a fleeting thing that passes.
Oh, Charlotte, what's the sort of symptoms of laudanum? Tom's having a bit of a turn. Could it be him that's the target?
Or maybe it happened that they swapped drinks.
Possible.
Just on. Are the main dinner plates still on the tables?
They've been cleared,
Fuck.
but you did notice that there was some kind of piled up in the kitchen. However, you think maybe, the leftovers would have been scraped away kind of thing.
You never tell who's now anyway.
Yeah.
No, but
What I will say, though,
it'd be interesting to see whether or not they had the same meal.
what I will say, though, is that looking at the top table, apart from the coffee, they're all drinking the wine, which is bottles of wine. So therefore, they're all sharing it.
Okay, so Tom's the only one with coffee.
Well, Horace is the only one been drinking coffee.
Horace is drinking coffee.
But then again, the drinks are coming out from the bar rather than from the kitchen, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Jason,
So they should have tainted some foods rather than drinks.
Jason, just to see whether it is the drink or not, I'm going to take out the laudanum bottle again. I'm going to open it and just have a quick sniff of it.
Okay.
And then I want to go over and have a quick sniff of the coffee pot and the wine bottle that's doing the rounds to see where I can pick up.
Okay.
I know it's an extremely that I know I'm stretching the boundaries of culinary senses, and I'm quite prepared to accept that it's probably a stretch too far. But
No, it's fine. I'm just trying to think if you would know what laudanum would smell like, if maybe you had it as a boy or something.
That's what I'm testing. I'm smelling the bottle first to get the whiff of the laudanum.
It smells very smoky, almost like peat, like you would get in a Scotch single malt.
Glenfinnan, 1950. Right. So I'm now going to sort of the aroma from the coffee pot and the aroma from the wine bottle. I'm well aware of the fact that the coffee pot, if it's in there, is going to be nigh on impossible to get because the coffee will be fucking strong. But we'll try it anyway.
You don't detect any sort of match from either of the drinks.
Okay. I go over to Tom. Oh, all right, old boy. You seem to be a little dizzy for a moment there. Have you been having a bit too much like the vicar?
No, no, no. I'm doing fine in that regard. You know me. I can hold my beer. No, I think it's just maybe a little bit of nerves kicking in. You know, obviously big day, and to be honest, with what happened to the vicar earlier, it did spook me a little bit. I must say.
Well, yeah. Listen. I kind of get him to sort of lean over to me, so I can whisper.
Yeah, yeah. He does.
Listen. I want to ask this, but I don't want to cause any sort of panic. What
Right.
did you have? What did you have to eat?
Well, what was placed in front of me, the same as everyone else.
Hmm. You know me. I'm just always scrambling for an idea. I just thought maybe everyone had eaten the carrots. We're going to have a turn. I thought you were about to go all light up.
Oh no, the pork was wonderful. Although, if I'm really honest, it wasn't what we asked for, but it was
What did
very
you ask?
tasty nonetheless.
What was it you asked for, dear boy?
Well, the thing is that because of Mary's religion, she does still practice some Shintoism. It's called. She can't have any like livestock to eat. It's considered impure. So, well, for me and everyone else, there was going to be some beef Wellington, but we suggested maybe getting some herring for her, and I did even offer to pay extra for it, but
Nothing at all. Hmm.
no, she hasn't really had much. I mean, she's having the cheese, bless her, but yeah, she didn't really enjoy it.
Bear with me a moment. I'm heading back
Alright.
to the kitchen.
Okay.
Hello again.
Oh, hello, sir. And you see that she's starting to wash some dishes up now.
Yes. I need to ask you a couple of questions. Just.
Oh,
Don't worry. They're
is this-
not.
are
Don't
you
worry.
assisting the Scotland Yard lady, wherever she may
Well,
be?
let's just say at the moment I'm assisting you.
Okay. I'm assuming that's a good thing.
Well, yes, because if the questions I have to ask you, the inspector from Scotland Yard has to ask you, I'm afraid it's not going to go too well for you at the moment. It's not looking good. So if you don't worry, don't. It's all right. It's all right. I'm here for you. Don't worry. Now, if you just like to sit down, have a
Good.
seat.
And she's
Wonderful.
putting her hands on the tea towel.
Now, the laudanum.
Aye.
How did you ensure that only the uncle was going to get the laudanum?
Well, put it in the gravy. That was for him, and he put it on, and yeah, I just slipped it in.
The gravy that was for more than just him to use.
Psychology roll.
I finally rolled under 50.
Woo!
I rolled 2. It's an extreme pass.
Okay.
Wow.
As soon as she started opening her mouth, you could tell that she was floundering. So it's nothing like the kind of poise and composure she had when explaining it to you first. And you actually wonder with your extreme if what she told you last time was a premeditated lie, maybe that somebody else told her to tell people.
Yes.
And she's obviously lying to you now.
Yes, it is a grave mistake to discuss gravy and that. Let's have the truth, please.
It's oh. Oh, okay, all right. I'm sorry.
It's either you talk to me about this or you talk to the Scotland Yard and
Yes, all right. I'll talk. I'll talk
better
to
you
you. So I'll
talk to
talk to
me.
you. I'll talk to you. So I'll talk to you. I, Miss Elladale told me to do it. It wasn't something that I wanted, and
What did you do?
it was for Tom. She told me to put it in Tom's food in the beef, in the pork. Sorry, that was a mistake on my part, by the way, not hers. In the pork. To be honest, I don't even know if it is laudanum, but she wouldn't say. She just told me to put it in there, and yes, so we went to present it, and then after he made the cut, we then went and put it out on separate plates, and when we'd done his, I put it in, and he'd be none the wiser. Especially as soon as he put gravy on it, it will be covered up, and I don't know what it's going to do to him.
Well, it's all right. You have nothing to worry about.
Really?
No!
So please, you can't tell anybody. I'll lose my job. Worse, in fact, maybe. Especially if this Scotland Yard person finds out. They're not going to send me to Scotland Yard prison, are they? Is there even a prison down there in Scotland Yard? Well, I suppose it's up, isn't it? Being up in Scotland.
Truly, you have a towering intellect. I like that about you.
Thank you. But
Right, listen.
I didn't mean no harm by it.
Yes. Possibly place that on his epitaph. She meant no harm by it.
No, please, sir. Like I said, it was all Miss Elladale who told us to.
Here's what you're going to do.
Okay.
I am going to get the inspector to come in, and you're going to tell her exactly what you've just told me. You will not deviate from it for one iota. If you do, then because I am very good friends with the inspector, I will make it very clear to that inspector that you meant every bit of it.
And she starts bursting into tears at that point. Okay, all right, I'll tell her everything.
Wow,
I'm not
had a big promotion.
I'm not leaving the kitchen. I'm going to go to the door, open it, and try and attract Charlotte's attention. Charlie, honey, could you come through?
Yes.
And you see this young woman just crying her eyes out, sitting in the corner by the sink.
What the hell? What am I doing here?
Here's the thing. I've just promoted you to inspector. And she's crying because she has a terrible burden of conscience that she needs to offload onto you.
Maybe this is better for the vicar to listen to.
Do you know that lying about your rank is a felony, right?
No, me lying about my rank is a felony. Me lying about your rank is merely an error because you never actually told me what your rank was. I have.
Well,
I
you're
believe
setting me up for a felony.
I have what they call plausible deniability. I mean, you can tell her yourself that you're not actually an inspector. You could probably calm her down doing that, but she has definite information that she needs to tell you about the laudanum.
Are you from
fact that it may
the
not
yard up
be
in
it.
Scotland, miss?
I leave it up to you. I'm heading out so I can have even more deniability.
I'm a police officer. Yes. What did you want to tell me about, darling?
What I just told him, and I told him that this is nothing that I wanted to do, nothing that any of us wanted to do, but Miss Elladale said that we had to. It's her, and if I didn't, then I would lose my job. But I think I'm going to lose my job anyway. At the moment, I'm losing my accent. I'm so flustered, and she does indeed tell you everything that she just told Granville. So the fact that she put the contents of this bottle into Tom's plate, specifically into the pork, she doesn't entirely know what the liquid was, whether it was laudanum or not.
Okay. So, to be perfectly honest with you, Miss
Flora, Miss
Flora.
Flora,
Okay.
Miss.
To be perfectly honest with you, what you did was really stupid for a number of reasons that I'm not going to enlist to you. Other than that, let's really hope nothing happens to soon to be groom. Otherwise, you'd be an accessory to have anything happens to him.
It is, I know, but I didn't really have a choice. Like I said,
You did have a choice.
I
You
Miss
decided that me.
Miss Elladale is the daughter of the Baronet of Clitheroe.
Oh
She has a lot of
no,
power.
tough shit. I mean, you put something that you didn't know what was, what it was, into somebody else's dish.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been poison, rat poison, water, drugs, anything. You didn't question it because the person who gave it to you.
I wanted to. I really did, but
Huh?
it's not my place to. I'm just a second cook. I'm a nobody here.
You're a possible accessory in damages or murder if something happens to Mr.
Oh,
Tom. Do you see? Do you
okay.
hear
But
how bad that sounds?
yes, okay. But I've told you everything. Can I go now, please? I won't
Mhm.
run away, I promise you, but please
As
can I
long as
go?
you don't leave the premises.
No. I've got a lot of washing to do, miss.
Mhm. Please get to it with soap and water.
Yes, absolutely. The best soap. The best
Mhm.
soap we have. And sort of wiping her tears with a wet cloth and just like getting on with
Mhm.
it.
Alligator tears, as far as I'm concerned. I really hope I come out of the kitchen, get back to Granville,
Hmm.
and tell him I really hope nobody is as dense as Flora around here. I really hope that.
Well, a bit of heat of interrogation, she's just melted.
Told you, I can't believe she's not butter. Um, I just,
Yeah, either way, whatever Tom ingested, I don't know if it already affected him completely because we know that something already happened to him, but it is better if we make it throw up whatever it is in this system.
Well, from what I understand of Laudanum, he's not sort of behaving in any way that would make me think that's what he's taken.
yeah, but it could be a slow-acting poison. I think Charlotte's right. First of
No,
all,
it's not. It's not laudanum, is it?
Yeah.
It's certainly.
I'm
right,
more keen to believe it is not.
we need a guard on Flora.
We need what?
We
Poor
need
Flora.
we need a guard on Flora.
Something to watch her.
She's a material witness. If what is happening is attempting to happen, she's a loose end.
Yes, she
No, I
is,
think
but
she. I
what
think
are
she,
we going to do? To pick at her door, wherever the fuck it is?
Hmm.
look.
You
Are
think
you
she's a
going to do
potential
that?
victim, the next potential victim?
I think she is.
Okay, let's focus on what's more important, more time sensitive at the very least. We need to find a way to put a couple fingers down Thomas' throats.
We need to do something quicker than that. I go back into the kitchen, find a large glass,
Okay.
find the salt,
Okay.
pour a whole load of salt into the glass, and fill it with water and shake it
Okay.
and give it to, and then we give it to Tom.
Oh, you took
Yes.
your time. What's this for?
Nice little remedy here, Tom. You need to down that boy.
Why?
Well, it'll help. It will help with the nerves.
You might feel
Salt
better. You had a
water.
bit of indigestion or something, probably the pork
Yes.
earlier on.
Need a good bit of water. Just clear it all out.
I'm fine now. I'm fine, and
Indulge me.
it's kind of the opposite, guys. Come on, I'm doing all right. Don't worry. And he actually gets some more food and starts like eating that.
No. Water. Down it.
Got to trust us. You know us. We would be doing anything. This is for your own good.
Persuade roll from somebody, but you can get a bonus die from being helped.
Persuade is not my thing.
Yeah, I got a 40, but as
Okay.
long as we are all together. I mean,
Mhm.
Granville maybe has more.
No, I don't.
I got
All
base 10.
I'm a lover, not a menace, mate. My charm's the big thing.
We are helping
Except for
Charlotte
Flora.
with our
Hey,
Okay.
I charmed the pants off of Flora, almost literally.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
Come on, Tomboy. This is a little bit of self, just to help the digestion going. I'm trying to persuade him into drink.
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, you get a bonus die for people helping.
Yay.
I don't want the drink. Yes, you do.
It's either a 20 or a 60, so I assume I'm taking the 20, which is a hard pass.
All right, very well, very well. Although I've had
Down
plenty of
it.
salt already with the pork, and he doesn't down it straight away, but he does sort of, just.
Down.
What
And presumably from this, you're hoping that he's going to chuck everything back up again.
Salt water in that kind of fashion. It's one of the best. It's one of the best aids to vomiting there is.
Yeah, it's a remedy if you are
Yeah,
not
they
able
use,
to put fingers down your throat.
People, if women are taught in classes about if they're hit with a date rape drug, to immediately take salt water to try and chuck it back up again.
All right. I see.
It's a homemade. That way, they don't have to try and find something specific. It's something that everyone's got in the home, which is water and salt. Just to help chuck it up.
Okay. So he does finish it, and he's like, "Okay, thanks, I suppose. But if you're wanting to offer me another drink, I'd rather have another beer."
Yeah, you're going to thank us for that later, sir.
And at that point, he does kind of get up and excuse himself.
Nikhil, go with him.
Maybe working.
Go
Yeah,
with
I'll
him.
go with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I cannot go in a man's restroom, so either one of you should go.
Yeah.
He does indeed go into the water closet. What I'll say actually is it's more kind of like an outside toilet, this one. And he kind of
Yeah.
bends over and starts breathing quite heavily.
I'll stand close, obviously not in the same cubicle as him, but I'll be outside somewhere in that in the road. Are you okay in there? Just let it all come out. Don't worry, Tom.
And,
you got this. Better be.
I won't
get this out of
obviously.
you.
I won't like imitate
Yeah.
the noises, of course, but yeah, he starts heaving
Correction,
quite
maybe, yeah.
badly. And interestingly, it stops fairly quickly before he feels a bit better. But he kind of comes back out. He wipes a little bit off his cheek.
Feel better now, don't you?
What the hell did you give me that for?
I didn't give you it.
Well, not you personally, but you were with him. What?
Under the heading of dropped me right in it.
I've just thrown my whole dinner up.
Yes, but there was rumours there's something wrong with the pork. We didn't want you to be ill for tomorrow. It's best to get rid of it now. We can always have something light in a minute. Just did people been ill on the pork?
Like what? What do you mean something wrong with it?
I don't know, but people have been feeling particularly ill, and I don't want you to be ill for tomorrow. This big day.
Well, on the upside, this Mary be all right. She never touched it. But what if all the
that's the
congregation
bonus.
are ill? What about them? Are you going to give them big glasses of salt water as well?
Don't encourage Granville. Well, I mean, if people start feeling a bit unwell, we will suggest that to them.
At that point, you hear a bit of a gurgle from his belly, and you think that maybe there's something still churning. But actually, he reacts to that and says, "Oh, and now I'm starving. Oh my god, I'm so hungry." And he rushes back in, maybe hoping to get some more
touch
cheese.
the bloody pork.
I mean, the pork's kind of gone for now.
So I'll sort of try and rush after him. I don't know if he's too quick for me or not, because obviously he's sort of off pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I thought for a minute there, I thought he was feeling ill, then suddenly he's off like a whip rabbit.
No. He's just rushing back inside and immediately makes a beeline for one of the tables that isn't actually the top table, but there's some more stuff on there, and he just starts gobbling it.
I'll walk into the room behind him and then look at
That's better.
Granville and Charlotte and just it
Yeah,
works.
I'm
Takes a
nowhere
slurp
to
of
be.
beer that's just left, and
Yeah,
some
I'm
more
nowhere to be
food.
found. I'm nowhere to be found.
Charlotte's gone. I'll find
I really
Granville.
don't want Thomas to get mad at me for
Where have you
what
gone?
we just did. Maybe at the bar ordering another cup of coffee, just not at my table, not at the top table. just away.
Very
go to-
fascinated by the bottles behind the counter all of a sudden.
Yes,
I
all of a sudden, yes.
I go to Charlotte and I said, "Look, we can look after Tom and his wife, but we can't go chasing after Lady Allendale. Just like you couldn't go into places where Tom was going, we can't go into places she's going to go."
Yeah, given the fact that she's home now, so there's no way we are able to get into there.
No, but we got to keep. Tomorrow we got to try and keep her away from Tom and his bride as much as humanly possible. Nothing passes from her that gets anywhere near him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gets intercepted, everything.
Let's really hope that what we just did is enough to
Well-
save Tom for whatever was going to happen to him.
don't think he's drinking anymore.
I think it would be I think it would be interesting to observe Lady Ellendale's reaction tomorrow when she sees he's still there.
Mhm.
That could be rather telling. The other thing, of course, is as much as she may not be the brightest bulb anywhere, Flora's in danger.
Yeah, but then again, I don't think that she'd be sleeping here at the inn. So who the hell is going to look after her? How?
Do we know? We don't know
I
if she's. if
I
she lives
straighten up
in
my
or-
jacket and shirt and tie and just say, it is a far greater thing than I do now, and I have ever done.
We don't know if she stays in the inn or stays locally, do we?
You assume that she's at least fairly local. Buenas tardes, Matteo.
Ciao, Matteo.
Hey,
Go
Matteo.
Nikhil, of course. Go Nikhil. The running favourite.
Yeah, I really want to have a closer look on Tom throughout the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
We should see him home as well.
Okay. So a bit of time passes, and some people are starting to leave at this point. Tom is still there, though. He is trying to eat more food still.
He's still eating.
He's still eating. It's getting a little bit weird in that it's almost like he's just ravenously, like, just wolfing down anything that he can see, really. And at one point, he's actually taken aside by Charlie to say, look, just slow down a bit, you know. I'll get you some nice breakfast in the morning, but maybe you should head upstairs. And eventually he kind of consigns and says, all right, yes, you're probably right. I'll go upstairs and
No,
sleep.
no. In answer to Phil, there, I don't think we've done the wrong thing. I just think there's something else going on as well. We did the only thing we could in the situation, which was to try and purge him.
Yeah, it seemed really obvious thing at the time, but this eating is not normal at all. Even if he was hungry
No.
after he threw up, he would have stopped by now.
Yeah,
This is gone beyond.
yeah. But it's possible he would have went into a eating fit regardless. Right now, as long as he's not going to drop dead of poison, I'm happy. If he dropped dead of cheese, at least we can, our conscience is clear.
Well,
we at least stop the poison.
I was going to say, to reassure you, he didn't have anything remotely pork looking after that. It was all cheese and fruit and
His
nuts
cholesterol
and
level
things
through
like
the
that.
top roof. You know,
Oh, yeah, he's going to die of a heart attack, definitely, but not of this poison.
Yeah, but even if he had more pork, his dish was tainted, not the whole pork.
That's true.
So he might eat even the silver tray, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It just worries me why he's eating so much.
Hopefully we'll have it. Hopefully we're going to have it tomorrow to find out.
That's not normal either. Well, I think we should check in on him before we go to bed, anyway.
Yeah.
At that point, you notice some of the other main players take their leave. So Sir Roderick takes his leave with Mary, who basically he escorts her up to Ellerdale Hall, which is where she's going to be staying the night. Because if you remember, Tom and Mary are sleeping separately tonight, as per
Yes,
tradition.
that's the tradition.
Yes.
Yes.
Their customs, etc.
What do you mean
Horace-
tonight?
Beg pardon?
What do you mean tonight? They're sleeping separately. So they should be sleeping separately anyway in this day and age. That's just shameful.
Yeah, but isn't the whole point back then where you're supposed to make love on your wedding night and therefore you can then sleep in the same bed or something? I don't know.
Yes, and to be fair, the whole thing about them most couples, if they were absolutely honest, would say that officially they did not sleep together before the wedding. Unofficially, they were at it like rabbits.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing is, as long as they were officially courting and officially being pious, it was all right.
Mm-hmm. And Horace makes eye contact with you again, Charlotte, as he's also noticed that lots of people are either retiring upstairs, they're going back to their own homes along the road somewhere. Charlie, another coffee?
Yeah,
To
definitely.
which he rolls his eyes, but says, if I must. You're going to be up all night at this rate. Oh yes, I do love the night. I'm a bit of a night owl. I do like to read. Well, each to their own, I suppose.
Mhm. Yeah, then again, I'm planning really on staying up the whole night. I don't know where, because I assume that the room is going to be closed at a certain point, even the bar, etc.
Aye.
Yeah. So maybe I'll tell Horus that as long as we are welcome here, we might stay up here and chit chat and whatnot. But if we are sent back to our room, I do believe that maybe I hinted at it last time we played. But if we are sent back to our rooms, we have like an appointment every hour outside to have a smoke and see that we are still up and running.
Yeah. That's
I-
exactly what you said. I've
Oh,
not
okay,
forgotten.
perfect. No, I thought I'd forgotten, so that's
it's
not
all
on
good.
you, mate. Okay.
But yes, so that's your kind of plan. The other two, you said you wanted to check on Tom, right, before you both turned in.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Make sure the groom is, feeling ready for the big
Alive.
day tomorrow.
Okay.
Alive,
Keep
still human.
the conversation light.
Yeah. So basically, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but your rooms are on just the first floor. They all appear to be kind of along this corridor. In fact, yes, I did, because I said that you were on like north side facing. Tom's room is actually on the floor above in a garret of sorts, so he almost has like the nicest room. But yeah, you both head on up there. Presumably, you knock. It sounds like he's washing or something, like washing his face. Oh yes, just one moment. And yeah, he just sort of dries his face. He opens the door. Oh, it's you two again.
Yeah, Tom was just.
Have you got any
checking
more
in to
salt
try-
water for me?
If
that
you
was
need
a
Yeah,
joke.
get some for you if you want.
No.
Just making sure you're okay, mate.
Yes. Sorry about the emergency evacuation, but I felt it was important. Didn't want you having a funny turn tomorrow morning.
Well, you obviously have my best interests at heart, I suppose.
Oh, nothing else. Nothing else.
Absolutely. Speaking of, I couldn't help but notice when you came back in. Obviously, maybe you chucked up more food than you thought, because You certainly seem to be wanting to replace it rather rapidly.
Well, yes, of course. I was starving.
How are you
I
feeling
really
now?
did. Fine,
That's
I
good.
think.
That's good. But listen, anything at all, we're right below you.
Oh, well, yes, everyone is. That's
I
where all
think
the
that's-
rooms are.
Yeah, I think if you need anything, if you're unwell or nerves or anything during the night, come and get us,
Yeah.
or stamp on the floor or something, and we'll be right with you.
Thank you, gentlemen. But I'll be fine.
Unless you
Excellent.
feel like a nightcap.
Well, yeah, sure. Anything to get the taste of salt out of my mouth.
Don't worry. Lots of people have said that about me.
Oh yeah, if you're willing, I will have a nightcap. Thank you.
I'm buying.
If,
Seems the least I can do for putting all that salt in your mouth.
All right, exactly. We'll call it quits then after that. Yeah.
Head on down. Get him to open a new bottle of whatever he's having.
Okay. Right. Nightcap, hey? Good on him. And yeah, Charlie pours him a fairly generous portion of scotch.
yes, that's more like it.
Making sure it's not an open bottle, but a brand new one.
No, it's whatever you tell him to open.
Yeah.
Yeah, he opens. Okay. And Charlotte, moving to you for a moment. Yeah, you can stay downstairs in the fire's not on anymore, but the chairs and things you can lounge there and stuff. To start with, Horace does a bit of reading. There are some more books that maybe catch your eye that you could try and leaf through if you like. Anything to keep the brain spinning.
Yeah, I'm having a look at the books if something catches my eye for whatever reason.
There's also there's like 2 or 3 newspapers. Some of them are a little bit out of date by about a week as well. If you want to catch up on any news, maps, and things like that. So yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm not that fond of local news, given I'm not local myself. So I'll tend to choose a book.
Fair. Okay. So you pick up an interesting sounding history book, which Horace doesn't appear to have heard of. Give me a second.
Yeah.
It's titled The Pendle Witches, Malicious or Misunderstood.
Oh, wow.
And you kind of scoff at it a little bit because the way it's written, it's blatantly written by, a white male historian who thinks he knows everything about whatever. But you do notice an account that Horace basically is a bit surprised at, because he said that time period, nothing really happened as far as he was aware. But let me just share this handout for you.
Yes.
And I'll zoom in a bit. So it says, another account written some years later in the 1640s suggests an occult-driven conflict of sorts atop Pendle Hill Summit in 1622. This is most unusual, and it's not during the height of the Pendle Witch Trials of 1612, nor the further, somewhat lesser-known trials of 1633. Furthermore, this account does not speak of sharp-tongued Puritans within a court of law, but a grueling battle. The writer of these memoirs is obviously troubled by these events, and there may well have been some sort of altercation on the hill's summit. However, the fantastical details hold no bearing in facts, and it seems all further evidence of this event has been lost to the sands of time. And unfortunately, this memoir that's being referenced, there's no quotes or any kind of drawing or anything. It's just referenced.
There's no reference to the writer of that. No name.
No name. And I'll put it in the chat for you.
Thank you.
Given there's no quote, no citation, no footnote, that might just be bollocks as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, someone said something, yeah, but yeah, of course I'm going to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Of fucking course.
But actually, Horace is keen to take the book off you once you're finished with it and actually start looking through it.
Yeah, please do. And I get the book that he was reading.
Okay. Yeah, the book he's reading is possibly not as exciting. There's no handout, but basically it's a book about like the history of certain industries in the area. So cotton, limestone, things like that.
Boring.
So it's a bit dry. Yeah, it's a bit boring and dry, but he seems to like it. But anyway, let's move things along a little bit. So just to check, you're basically still downstairs. You're intending, presumably, to stay there for longer, or as long as it takes until you're thrown out, are you?
Yes, but I was thinking that given my character herself, I might as well suggest to have a walk outside and maybe do a little bit of stargazing.
Okay. No worries. And the other two, are you doing anything else before turning in?
Well, I think perhaps we want to give Tom a couple of drinks.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get him drunk, but I think perhaps some alcohol in him might sterilise anything in his stomach.
Yeah.
So basically, you make him chuck up what he's previously had, and now you're feeding him drinks. So how is he going to think that you're being genuine?
Well, I mean, I just find it very strange with eating so much. The reaction to being sick was very strange, I thought. And that made me worry that he's...
Okay.
Everything we're doing is for his benefit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about
greater good.
Getting a bottle of whiskey down him or anything. Maybe three or four glasses.
All right. Well, you stay up in his room for a bit, and you reminisce about good times those years ago back in London. He opens up more about Mary, how much he loves her. Gets a little bit weepy at one point. Is there anything specific that you're trying to glean out of him, or is it more just to kind of see how he's doing and kind of keep things?
Well, initially, I just want to make sure he's okay before we leave him.
Not too bothered about getting info out of him. I mean, there are other people to get info out of.
Okay.
Like Flora.
Poor Flora. Okay, so I'll say that about an hour passes, and his mood, apart from obviously getting a little bit more influence with the alcohol, it's not changing. He doesn't appear to have any more hunger pangs or anything like that. No more kind of heart issues.
Good. Well, I think we should turn in Let you get a good
Aye,
sleep
it is
before
getting
tomorrow.
late. It
It's a
is
big day
getting late
tomorrow.
indeed.
We don't want to be ill, do we?
Yeah.
Well, apparently now I'm going to be immune to anything.
I certainly hope so.
Unless there's something in the whiskey now, I bet. But he's kind of jesting a bit at this point, trying to make light of the situation.
You'll be fine, my lad.
Yes. We are most looking forward to seeing you marry that wonderful woman.
I
She
am
has
as well.
brought a smile to my friend's face, and that is worth its weight in gold, sir. I bid you good
Yes.
evening.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, I'll say the two of you retire, as does Tom. But outside, the stargazer wants to take a little walk. Which way do you go? You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. I just said, oh fuck, to be completely open with you guys. And given that I assume it is pitch dark because I assume it is about 2 or 3 in the night.
Not quite. It's not quite midnight, but it's getting on to about 11 o'clock now.
Oh fuck, it's early. Yeah, I wouldn't go much far afield since I don't know the roads, etc. But then again, we might go behind the church or yeah, just staying into town and find a place with not that many lights around.
Okay.
Maybe ask for auras for support in the site choosing.
Well, certainly. I suppose it depends how far you want to go, but I imagine not very far because
No, yeah,
not
that's
seeing.
stay close.
So he suggests that you go, yeah, into the churchyard and kind of pass the graves, and there's a little bit of room where you can sit or stand, and you'll get a good view from there.
Mm-hmm.
But as you enter, or just about enter into the churchyard again, you notice a light from an upstairs window in Ellardale Hall. Make me a spot hidden roll.
How much do I have? Was it 40? No, it's a 50. Spot hidden, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a pass. Pass
Okay.
by 17, if that matters. But I assume it
Oh, do you want to
doesn't.
spend any luck to make it a hard?
That would be 8 points. Yes, fuck 'em, I'm spending them.
Okay, so you squint your eyes at this light. It appears to be just a single candle. It's you can still see it, but yeah, and there's a couple of things you notice. The first thing is that it's a slightly strange color for a candle, as in the flame. It's a very deep orange, not like the kind of whitish flame you would normally get. But also, just with your hard pass, from your peripheral vision, you see another light coming from south. And turning, you can see, you're not exactly sure where it is, because again, it's dark and there's no other lights on, but somewhere, not quite on Pendle Hill itself, but in that general direction, you see another light. Exactly the same. And we're going to end the session there.
Why? Fucking candles. I'm not scared. You are scared. Okay.
Yeah, that's spooky.
Yeah, kind of.
The important thing is, Giorgio, you believe that.
That's
You can do anything
self-convincing.
if you believe.
That's all
Ooh,
it
that's
takes.
good.
Self-belief.
Yeah, self-belief. Thank you very much for having us as always.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's really good.
Yes.
Fine,
enjoyable.
thank you for being
Really
wonderful
enjoyable.
players.
Oh,
We do our best, we know.
It's building, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is building.
Oh yeah, it's this may be the first time that I'm going to a wedding that I'm dreading. That those two lines rhyming was not intended.
No, but it was cool. But anyway, I will end the broadcast there, and hopefully we'll
Brilliant.
be on next week. We will see you
Yep.
then. Bye bye.
Good night, everybody.